So Anita, you're talking quite a lot on the future of work. How do you see what are the main trends and maybe, just one tendency which is crucial at the moment for us and which is changing the scene or the way we work?
So I talk a lot about the future of work, and I specifically focus on the intersection between HR and technology, because it is so vital that we benefit from technology, but also so important because we work with people, that we do it in a right way. And so the conversation today was about, when you look at these new technologies, at AI, generative AI, extended reality, it's so easy to think it will replace all of us, where in fact what we need to do is think through, how can it augment our work? How can it make our work better? How can it improve our performance? But at the same time, keep it uniquely human. We need to think much more deliberate about what are people going to do and what is technology, where is technology helping us? As an example, with AI, you can use AI to synthesize information for you. It can combine very many things and bring up some unique facts that maybe you did not know about. But you get to decide what you are going to do about it. You cannot let AI decide that for you. And especially when it comes to people.
You also have mentioned this distinction between work-centered organization and people-centered organization. Could you elaborate a bit on that?
So work-centered organization is an organization that thinks in structures. We have an IT structure, and when there's something comes up with IT, we go to them. We have a finance department, and when something comes up, when I have a financial question, I go there, and then there's HR and operations and so on and so forth. And with AI, when we create organizational knowledge stores, I, as a person, have the opportunity to start asking questions, and that information comes from everywhere. So by using that, we're democratizing information in our companies. And then suddenly, I do not have to go to finance or IT or HR anymore. I can find the user. I will still need them for expert advice. I will still need them to make decisions. But the first steps I can do myself. That changes things. And what I do when I say work-centered and human-centered, I try to challenge people to think in, okay, what do humans now do? And how can we make sure that they collaborate and add value in the right ways while not being so married to the corporate structure? Is there a different way that we can try this? Because we already know it doesn't work, because many organizations have a corporate structure, but also a matrix. Right. And that is because this structure doesn't work. The matrix doesn't work either, but then suddenly you have two bosses and you think that that solves all the problems. Well, it doesn't.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of issues with this work-centered organizations at the moment, especially when we have so many challenges with workforce, right? And you can't put everybody into the box. Either just skills don't match 100%. Your availability doesn't match 100%. Your location doesn't match 100%. Just maybe the level of your engagement, maybe that's different as well. Yeah. And so basically we're saying that we need people to do work, but we cannot hire those who are there on the market because they don't fit the boxes that we have, right?
Exactly.
And human-centered would be something that is in the middle, that actually is a mediator between what is there, what is the intention or wish of a person or people in general, and what we need as well.
Yeah, it makes work much more fluid because people can apply the skills that they have when that is needed. And think back to that university project that I mentioned. Yes, some students were engineering students, But when there was an issue on another topic, they jumped on that and tried to figure out, is there a way that we can solve that? And the reason why they did that was because there was no corporate structure that said, well, you're engineering, so everything that has to do with engineering is for you. We also see that people have less linear careers. People are more inclined to take a lattice, which means that if you do this, when you have experienced this project and after 1 or 2 years, you think that you have given it all you had, now you want to do something else. And that is not necessarily a step up. That could also be a step to decide either within the organization that you work for or in another organization. So what you are seeing is that people are developing more skills, not necessarily in one specialism. And that is completely different from careers as they were 10, maybe 20 years ago.
Your new book coming out is on pay transparency.
It is.
Why have you selected this exact topic?
I wrote a book that is titled How to Select Your Next Payroll, because I noticed that a lot of companies had difficulties moving on to a new payroll, and I wanted to help them a little bit and use my experience to do that. And in October, my second book comes out, and that is called Equal Pay for Equal Work. And that is a guide to help people with implementing pay transparency programs so that they are ready for the new European legislation. So the European Pay Directive was signed in June of this year. And I talked to a lot of people about compensation and pay because of my last book. And I realized that not many people understand what is coming because the law doesn't go into effect until 2027. So everyone thinks, well, we have more than enough time. But this is not a 6 months project because first you have to put everything in place to make sure that you can actually measure equal pay for equal work. Then it's very likely once you have measured that you have pay gaps, either gender pay gaps, age-related pay gaps. You have pay gaps, and you will need to bridge those gaps before your first report is due. Otherwise, your first report comes out, you have pay gaps, and I'm pretty sure that all your employees will look at you and say, well, you knew this 4 years ago. Why did you wait so long to fix this? So I wrote the book because in my mind, people have 2024 to make sure that they understand where they are. Then they have 2025 to fix it, because if you have gaps and you need to bring people up, because you always bring people up, that costs money and you have to budget for that. And some organizations need not 1, but 2 years to bridge those gaps. That means that you are level set in 2026 and you report in 2027 over the data in 2026.
Okay.
So my message to companies is understand what is coming, know what you need to do, and don't wait.
Jūs klausite podcast'o Žmogiškieji Iššūkiai. Kad nepraleistumėte naujų epizodų, kviečiame prenumeruoti laidos naujienlaiškį adresu žmogiškieji.lt. Podcast'ą prenumeruoti taip pat galite per Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher ir kitose platformose. Laidos partneris Audioteka verslui. Nuolatinio tobulėjimo kultūra jūsų organizacijoje. www.audiotekaverslui.lt